Hey there everyone, welcome back as we continue following the Spector team on their path to victory in the 2022 USBCs. I do want to interject in our commentary for just a short minute, as I got the inside scoop yesterday about the hand that we were looking at and what happened at the table with John Kraniak and Vince DeMoy. So let's quickly bring that one up and take a look at what actually happened. So this was the hand that I was taking a look at yesterday, and I spoke with John Kraniak after my recording to get the scoop as to what actually went down at his table. He says that there was no director call whatsoever on this deal. And so I guess that means that Vince in first seat passed. This used to pop up something when I hovered over yesterday. Well, anyway, Vince apparently passed in first seat with no incident and passed out 4 spades in the auction overall. And that won them a sizable swing. Declare could have made this contract, but versus 1,400 and 5 diamonds doubled at the other table, it wouldn't have made a large difference in the M swing. So there you have it. Let's jump into the 4th segment of play now and take a look at some hands. So overall, the Beatty team actually won the segment. And let's take a look at how they may have managed to pull that one off. I see a couple of large swings in the segment. I think I do want to take a look at Spector's victory on board 54. So let's jump into that one first. Yep, let's get right in there. So on this board, South in second seat, favorable, opens a diamond. Longest suit, 15 high card points, easy rebids of spades, or maybe clubs if necessary. North bids a heart, natural. I'll say it's maybe something to take note of that West didn't come in over a diamond. West has good shape, but the hand is just not quite strong enough for a takeout double, and especially opposite a passed partner, making takeout doubles in these scenarios really helps the opponents fill in the cards as they're playing if they end up as declare. And from our perspective, it looks like this is the opponent's hand. So we don't want to give away this information, even though we might be losing out on a small amount of equity here and there by missing a heart fit or club fit and playing a part score or even a game or sacrificing in some way. So I like this decision by West to not come in over a diamond. North bids a heart. Yeah, 5-card heart suit. So even though we have 5-card diamond support and we are game forcing, we have 13 highs despite the singleton queen of clubs. Finding out if we have a major suit fit makes the most sense because we have so few controls that slam and diamond seems pretty far off unless partner has extras. Okay, South bids a spade. North bids 2 diamonds. So this is probably the infamous XYZ convention. If you bid one of something else, and one of a third suit, then 2 clubs tends to show an invitational hand, artificial, 2 diamonds tends to be artificial, showing a game forcing hand. So this is just nice. North can game force at a very low level, and now both North and South can bid out their hands naturally. South bids 3 clubs, showing extras with 4-card clubs. So that's patterning out. Now North knows that South has one of a couple different shapes. He could be 4-1-4-4 with a singleton heart. He could be 4-0-4-5, depending on their opening agreements about whether or not they would open a diamond or a club with that, or he could be the shape he actually has, which is 4-0-5-4. And according to them, the 3-club bid shows extras. Now, I don't know exactly what kind of extras that means, but given that the shape is already implied from the bid, it should be extra high card points. Maybe it's also extra controls. I'm not sure. West doubles 3 clubs, and this bid's probably okay. I tend to not be a strong advocate for doubles in a lot of these auctions where the opponents are game forcing and trying to convey information to their partner, because most of the time they tend to be searching for a slam when this happens, and when we double, we're helping them place high cards in our hands, which means that they aren't going to be placing those high cards in their partner's hand. So in this scenario, the singleton queen of clubs might look like a great card to North after the double, whereas prior to the double, South could easily have had strong clubs, and then the queen doubleton of spades could be a liability. So, but in this scenario, I think West is uncertain who's going to be on lead against whatever contract is going to be reached, and given that West has the ace of hearts, he probably suspects that the only way to beat whatever slam they end up in, if it is a slam, or no trump, is a club lead is their best chance. Club lead through dummy's ace towards his king. He has the ace of hearts to protect in that suit, and then hopefully he can cash the king of clubs for a second trick. Okay, so North bids 3 diamonds, now showing diamond support. South bids 3 spades. This feels to me like it could be a temporizing bid, seeing if North wants to bid 3 no trump. And if North did bid 3 no trump, I do suspect South would continue on with 4 diamonds, but the 3 spade bid might not necessarily be a Q bid in support of diamonds. But let's see North with 5-5. So North now knows that they have a huge diamond fit. His very distributional hand is probably excellent for partner. The hearts don't look particularly good, but the fifth diamond is such a strong card, and with good diamond honors, he suspects that that's probably good enough to cooperate in a slam try. So his 4 club bid looks like a Q bid to me. South bids 4 diamonds, probably waiting for more information. Or this could be some sort of... Okay, I see. 4 diamonds for some experts, and this was the way that I played it in the past, is often asking partner to bid key card in diamonds. So once we found a minor suit fit, and we are game forcing, we want to have a way to ask partner to bid key card, because oftentimes we will be the hand that has all the aces and kings, and partner might just want to bid 3 no trump, or want to sign off in 5 diamonds, or whatever it is that partner might want to do, whereas we can just ask partner to say, hey, how many aces and how many key cards do you have? And once we tell him, hopefully he'll know what the right spot is for the contract. So 4 diamonds could have been that. Either way, it looks like 4 hearts was kickback. Most experts do play some form of kickback, which is just one above 4 of a minor is asking for key cards, and the reason is that 4 no trump often takes you a little too high if you make that bid. So 4 spades showed 3 key cards. Alerted is 0 or 3, but on this auction it's pretty obvious what's going on. And note that South didn't show his heart void. I think this is sometimes a tricky decision to make. Now, maybe they didn't have good agreements about how to do this, or he just elected not to. But when your partner has showed a long suit, or in this case a natural suit in hearts, sometimes you don't want to show a void in that suit because your partner will have misevaluated his hand somewhere in the auction. In this case, I think it would be okay, although maybe South didn't want to bypass 5 diamonds because he wasn't convinced that North had so much extra in the way of values with the spade queen, the singleton club, the 5th card in diamonds. Anyway, so there we have it. So 4 spades netted 6 diamonds from North. North, of course, is looking at 4 key cards now with the trump queen and thinks that they're off an ace. So he places the contract in 6 diamonds. Little does he know that the ace they're off is the ace of hearts, and that's opposite void. But it's not always going to be the case that you'll make 13 tricks even if you have no losers on the hand. So let's take a look at the prospects in this contract. It looks like Declare has 3 spades and the ace of clubs off the top, and will need to be cross-ruffing 8 diamonds to get extra tricks. So, with that said, from, let's see, West's perspective on opening lead, we probably don't want to be leading our heart away from the ace. We probably don't want to be leading a club away from the king. A spade is maybe a somewhat safe lead, given that if Declare does need to take spade finesses through our partner, we know they're already working. But when one player has showed large distributional hands, and especially on these kinds of hands where they go through key card, they find out about all their controls, now we know that they're off a key card, so they probably have the diamond queen. A trump is often a safe lead, and it can help us because Declare has a wide variety of tools in his arsenal in general to make slams when he has so much control over the high cards, or the aces and kings at least, in the play, and leading trumps can sometimes cut down on his options. So let's see what West decides to do. He does lead a trump, and from Declare's perspective, we already kind of counted this out. It is possible to pull trumps, and it looks like 1, 2, 3 spades, 4, so 4 black suit tricks. If we pulled 2 rounds of trumps, that would put us up to 6 tricks, and then we could cross-ruff 6 more tricks. So once the jack of diamonds nets another trump from east, Declare can actually claim. He probably plays it out just in case there's an over trick somewhere. But we no longer need to try and take 13 tricks on the steal via either spade finesse or setting up the hearts, or I'm not entirely sure what the best way to go about that would be. Maybe the other table will try and show us. But okay, Declare elects to lead a heart, to ruff, now pulls the second round of trump, and yeah, so he's going after hearts, hoping that maybe the ace of hearts will fall. Ace of clubs and a club ruff, heart ruff, club ruff, and this was actually an excellent line of play so far. Now when North plays his last diamond, he can discard a club, and if the opponent who has the ace of hearts holds 4 spades, then he will make the contract on a squeeze. As it turns out, that doesn't happen. The last club actually had some potential for a double squeeze threat as well. So overall, I like this line of play to try and make 13 tricks, but 12 tricks was always going to be there. And Declare takes his 12 tricks. So 6 diamonds makes it this table. Let's take a look at what happened at the other table. East passes once again, South opens a diamond, and West once again decides his hand isn't good enough to make a takeout double. North bids a heart, South bids 1 spade, showing an unbalanced hand with spades. I guess this is somewhat popular among experts, is that with a balanced hand here, even holding 4 spades, we bid a no trump. And the trade-off here is that sometimes we miss out on our spade fit at a very low level and end up playing 1 no trump, but on hands where we are game forcing, we'll still find our spade fit, we'll back into it eventually. You know, North can bid 2 spades over 1 no trump, and then we bid 3 spades. And if 1 no trump does pass out, the opponents now need to worry a little bit about us having a 4-card spade suit, as opposed to East-West almost always being able to safely lead spades against that auction no matter what their holding is. So South bids 1 spade, 2 diamonds. Once again, this looks like the same sort of XYZ convention we have, artificial game force. South bids 3 clubs, and because 1 spade already showed an unbalanced hand, we don't need any sort of conventional agreement here that 3 clubs is unbalanced. North bids 3 diamonds to show his diamond support, South bids 3 spades. And at this table, North just elects to jump directly to key card and diamond using kickback. So 4 hearts here is key card and diamonds. South now shows 3 with a void. And this is the only real big decision that's different between the two tables. So at the other table, South elected to conceal his void opposite his partner's known heart suit. And because South might have thought that his hand didn't really have all that much in terms of extra high cards, given that he had already showed extras for the auction. Whereas in this table, it's possible that South's auction so far, a diamond, 1 spade, both of these could be on minimum hands. Once 2 diamonds was game forcing, 3 clubs didn't need to show extras in terms of high cards, probably doesn't. The 3 spade bid probably does show a little bit in terms of extras, but maybe South felt he hadn't showed enough of his strength and therefore thought, I need to go ahead and convey some extra values here, and so he shows his void. North with 7 diamonds. So once again, West is on opening lead. We'll see if he makes the same opening trump lead. He does. And now South is in a bit of a tighter spot, because even though we can sort of count 12 tricks, if we get to rough 8 cards between the 2 hands, there's still going to be a trump outstanding for the opponent, so we need to find a way to best play around that. Now, to be able to rough 4 cards in our hand, we need to rough 4 hearts, which means we're going to need 4 dummy entries to rough the heart suit. The most natural thing to do does look like what Declare did at the other table, which is to hop up with the king of diamonds and start roughing hearts. And maybe that's just a good line of play regardless. The potential for a squeeze, or the potential for the ace of hearts falling, all have some added bonus, even though we give up on the ability to rough 8 tricks in both hands. But if we were to ask ourselves, do we want to have more high trumps in North's hand or South's hand after trick 1, we would certainly say we want more high trumps in North's hand, because there is a possibility that East could overrough clubs or spades, since we're going to need to rough some of those cards in North to get our 8 cross-roughing tricks. So it may make the most sense to win the ace of diamonds in hand at trick 1. And then if we do get to rough 4 hearts small in our hand, we only need to rough 2 cards small in the dummy, and then we'll be able to rough the remaining cards high in the dummy, either club or the 4th round of spades. So let's see how Declare plays this. He does win the high trump in the dummy. This, from a feeling point, this feels the most natural to me as Declare, but when you step back and look at the hand, maybe you consider other possibilities. But let's just see what happens. A heart gets roughed. And Declare, okay, so Declare just selects for the same line of play that was taken at the other table. We're going to pull trumps, we're going to hope the hearts provide us something, or we will play for a squeeze. Maybe Declare will actually take a spade finesse at some point. This seems reasonable. I think that cross roughs tend to be underrated for a lot of players just because it requires a lot of precision and timing in how you want to go about playing the hand. But this contract is makeable from here, and the way to do that would be to guess that we want to rough 2 spades in North's hand and 2 clubs in North's hand. That would leave East with East following to all of these suits, and therefore we can just cross-rough our way to victory from here. Or sorry, not 2 spades in North's hand. We have 3 spades to cash. 1 spade in North's hand and 2 clubs first before we ultimately rough the 4th club. in North's hand with the high diamond, the king, and then we'll be able to rough the last trick with the ace of diamonds in South. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe we rough with the ace of diamonds first and then rough with the king of diamonds, but there is a way to make this hand. You need to be pretty good at reading the cards to get a picture of the opponent's distributions as you play. And that requires focusing a lot on which spot cards are being played, not necessarily because the opponents are going to be signaling all that much, although they might do some, but because playing different spot cards will give away information about their hand. Like, if East were to play the Queen of Hearts on the second round of Hearts, we get a lot of information. He probably wouldn't be doing that from a long heart suit, or he wouldn't be doing that all the time in tempo. So, but here, once Declare pulls the second round of Trump, there's just no way to make this contract anymore. None of the squeezes work, and the Spade Finesse doesn't work. So let's just see how Declare ends up finishing this hand out. He just takes a Spade Finesse. That's a simple way to go about it. It's about 50% that this would work, maybe slightly more because West started with only one of the diamonds. That doesn't look right. Okay, it looks like maybe a misclick somewhere from the VuGraph operator. So, all right. Well, so that was the 7 diamond contract. I think I want to take a look at this hand, board 53 as well. So this looks like a win for the Beatty team. But really quickly, I know I'm running a bit behind because I had that long intro today. Let's see what happened on this board. So North opens a heart, 12 high card points, excellent distribution, 5 card heart suit. South bids 2 no trump, a game forcing heart raise with at least 4 trumps. West comes in with 3 clubs, and the vulnerability is very important here. If East-West were unfavorable, then this bid might be really scary because even though the opponents have committed to a game, they could still gain a lot by doubling you. In this case, when we're favorable and the opponents have committed to a game, they would need to collect 800 points against us before it became worthwhile for them to go after us. And that's just rarely going to happen, so we're able to cheaply get in a bid that not only is offering a sacrifice, but is directing partners to what suit we want him to lead if he does end up on lead against a heart contract. North bids 3 spades. I don't understand this explanation. I think spades in a club control, but maybe it promises short spades. I don't think it promises short spades because that's not what North has. So I'm not familiar with what 3 spades means. Maybe they play some sort of systems on over specifically a 3 club bid where a double at these colors wouldn't necessarily suggest penalties, but instead would suggest whatever their normal 3 club response would be to a 2 no trump bid. A lot of people have devised their own kind of Jacobi responses because the normal ones tend not to work all that well in general, or there are better methods, I suppose I should say. East jumps to 6 clubs. What a bid. So I like the idea from East where in these auctions, when we are trying to be preemptive to the opponents, what we want to do is we want to bid the highest level that we're comfortable with bidding immediately. And then we don't want to bid ever again. This is one of those reasons why you preempt at the 2 level with a 6 card suit, you preempt at the 3 level with a 7 card suit for an opening bid. So here, East probably did a few simulations for what his partner's hand could look like, and judged that the opponents were probably going to compete to 5 hearts over 5 clubs, and therefore we already want to preemptively save in 6 clubs. So this is a little risky. Obviously a heart contract could be going down, we don't know. Partner could have the club ace, partner could have the diamond ace, partner could have the spade king. There are a whole bunch of different defensive cards that our partner could have on this auction, but we expect the save to be fairly cheap from our perspective, given that we're not vulnerable, and partner has suggested a save with his 3 club bid, surely. We have club support, we have heart void, we have a lot of offense in our hand, not all that much defense outside of maybe the spade queen and the diamond king, but with the long diamond suit, the heart void, everything's screaming offense to me about this hand. And so East came up with a very clever way to put the opponents to a difficult test. And with that, South, I don't think has anything better to do other than to double. Pass would indicate that he thinks playing offense has some merit, and South just has a complete minimum. I mean, the extra trump is certainly a little more offensive, but the 5-3-3-2 distribution is not great. 2 aces are definitely good. We expect to have no club losers in a heart contract, but we have weak trumps. Our diamonds don't look great. The 10 of spades could be a big card, but overall, this hand just doesn't feel like we want to be bidding 6 hearts, or even suggesting to partner that 6 hearts could be a bid. Now, even if South had passed, I would expect North to double here. So it looks like East-West have done well because they're saving, and it looks like a pretty cheap save. Let's take a look at how the defense goes. So North on opening lead has maybe a bit of trouble coming up with a great lead. I think the ace of hearts is very reasonable. We rate to have, or our partner rates to have the heart king, so this is unlikely to blow a trick. A spade's very risky and a diamond's very risky. We're leading away from unsupported honors. A club could, in some scenarios, give away the position of partner's queen third of clubs, although I think it's unlikely, so maybe I would rate that a club or the ace of hearts are the most likely opening leads. North leads a club, that makes sense. South wins, and I guess I expect him to return a club, even though he probably suspects that Declarer will find a way to do something about his hearts. This is a little shocking, I would say. So let's step back for a second, because from South's perspective, we know, well, we suspect that our partner has 5 hearts, therefore Declarer has 3. If we play back another club, then Declarer will only be able to ruff 2 of his hearts in the dummy, and then we'll have to find an alternative way to get rid of those cards. Partner having led a club, as opposed to the ace of hearts, probably doesn't have both the ace and king of hearts. There's no guarantee. We are defending against a slam, so a lot of conventional wisdom for opening leads is off, but we would probably expect our partner to lead ace king of hearts instead of a singleton club against this auction. So if Declarer has the king of hearts, then partner really needs either the spade king or the diamond ace at a bare minimum to make up his opening bid. In which case, we don't need to worry about, for example, cashing the ace of spades, thinking that Declarer might run diamonds on us to discard losers, because partner will have a stopper, most likely. So yeah, the spade ace feels maybe a little cowardly to me at this point. I guess it is possible that Declarer had something like ace queen doubleton of diamonds, and in that scenario, if we return to club, Declarer would win, unblock the diamonds, ruff a heart in the dummy, play 3 top diamonds, our jack falling, discarding both of his spades and his heart that he can't ruff, and then he would make the contract. So in that one nightmare scenario, we do actually concede the contract if we return a club. Maybe that's what South is wagering here, is that a club return could let them make, whereas a spade return never will. And it's only a couple hundred extra points, given that they're non-vulnerable. So we don't really want to risk giving them a large score, what is it, 12-10 or something, for bringing home a doubled slam. But I think that's a little too scared for me. Maybe there's another layout that I'm missing where Declare could do the similar thing. But it looks like, given our partner's trump lead, we should just believe that partner has something in diamonds. I mean, even if partner has the diamond queen, we're still getting a trick in the end when we lead a club here. So I think a club back makes the most sense, and on this hand, it actually would have worked out pretty well, I would say. On second thought, maybe none of this matters. Thinking about the ace of diamonds being on side, the diamonds do set up, and Declare will have an entry with the heart ruff eventually. But okay. Anyway, let's just take a look at what happens. The ace of spades gets led. The nine of spades looked discouraging to me, but we now return another spade. Declare pulls around a trump, plays the spade queen to discard a diamond, ruffs a spade, leads a diamond up towards the king, and claims the rest of the tricks because now the king of diamonds is good to discard a heart. Okay. That all makes sense, and it actually does kind of look like that was going to happen regardless of what we did, so I'm sorry, South. I didn't mean to blame you for what originally looked like a cowardly play, but it seems like the ace of spades was pretty well calculated, and South expected that there was no chance that he was going to get any more tricks, regardless of the layout of the diamonds and spade suits, and therefore it was correct to protect against six clubs making on this one really obscure layout where a partner has nothing in diamonds. Let's jump to the other table and see what happens. Okay. So this table, North opens a heart and South bids three clubs. And for them, this is almost like a Jacoby bid, but it's saying that it could only be based on a limit raise hand. Now, a lot of you might wonder why West didn't do anything over three clubs, and I think the reason for that is that a lot of experts play here that a double of three clubs is actually take out of hearts. So many experts give up on the ability to show clubs naturally in this scenario without bidding, say, four clubs and jumping to a really high level so that they can have a cheaper takeout double that doesn't really risk their side in a lot of scenarios, because it's far more likely that West holds a hand like East, where we might want to make a takeout double of hearts. I say that, but this East hand is quite weak, so don't go around making takeout doubles with 7 counts. But yeah, so it looks like a systemic win for North-South on this hand, where West was unable to show his clubs, and therefore East didn't know that they had a good sacrifice available. So 3 clubs fetched a 4-heart bid from North. He has a singleton despite the minimum high card points. His trumps look great. Most of the honors are working. The 9 of spades could be an important card. So this all makes sense. Let's step through how the defense went. So East opens with an aggressive 9 of diamonds. This makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's not like a club or a spade were necessarily all that much better. And this is a Rusno lead once again. The 9 promises the 10 could have a higher honor. So Declare gets a diamond finesse for free. I expect Declare to play... No, Declare should play a small diamond on this, but I was thinking that Declare wants to be in dummy to take the heart finesse. He can always get there with the club ace without sacrificing too much, and the king doubleton of diamonds could be in West's hand, so we don't want to needlessly cover this and give up on the possibility of having 0 diamond losers. So Declare wins the queen of diamonds, plays the club to the ace, and takes a heart finesse leading the 8. This makes some sense. The Queen of Hearts may be useful as some sort of late entry to dummy for some reason, but let's take a look at what happens. The 8 of Hearts holds. Another heart gets played, and finally a third round of hearts. And on this trick, East has to decide what to discard. A diamond could be fatal, of course, so he can't give up that, but he has to guess whether to discard a club or a spade. And from his perspective, he has no information about the hand because, once again, his partner was unable to show long clubs. So if Declare actually had long clubs, he may want to hold on to his clubs to prevent some sort of cross ruff later in the hand. It looks hard for that to be true, though, because Declare is still going to have 2 trumps in South's hand, and therefore, if North does actually have long clubs, then he'll have short spades, in which case he can ruff both the 10 and 3 of spades from dummy in his hand. So this might be a small inaccuracy. It's only going to cost an overtrick, but maybe that was a little bit of a careless play from East. Nonetheless, this doesn't have a large impact on the hand overall. An overtrick at imps is really not worth all that much. It's going to be worth at most 1 imp. But now Declare is able to take 2 finesses and spades, and his 4th spade will set up to discard a diamond loser from the dummy. So Declare goes after this line of play and makes 12 tricks. All right. Let's jump back to the scorecard. So those were 2 different hands. I know I'm running a little long today on my review. Apologies for that, but that will do it for my review of the 4th segment of this match. So there you have it. Looks like Spector can bleed. They ended up losing 15 imps in this segment, and their lead has been cut a little bit as we head towards the end of the first day. Join me again tomorrow for coverage of the 5th segment, and we'll see if they can bounce back. See you then.